In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how to create a self-portrait using either mosaic or collage as a technique. Materials and equipment you'll need will be magazines, wrapping paper, scrap paper, etc., glue, stick and scissors, a photo of yourself to work from, medium to heavyweight piece of paper to mount it all on, and optionally you could use a photo to painting app. We used Picasso for our tasks. If you don't have access to the technologies that will enable you to enlarge a photo of yourself, that's absolutely fine. You can work from a line drawing of yourself instead. Now this can be one that you've completed yourself or one that you have somebody else complete for you. It just needs to be around A4 in size. Once you've got your photo enlarged, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to work from. So you might want to trace around the size of the photo so you know what size you're working on for your paper. And we used the app called Picasso, which allowed us to play around with the filters and highlight the different tones on the image, which is going to make it a lot easier for figuring out the different tones of paper that we're going to use on our collage. You can literally trace your picture, so don't feel you have to draw this freehand. And you can see here Debs has highlighted the different sections of colour that she can see more obviously from the photo. So it looks a little bit abstract at the moment, but this is guidelines really to help with placement of the different pieces of paper when she creates her collage or mosaic. Now just to highlight, a mosaic tends to be tiles of paper in this instance that are laid next to each other. They might have a slight gap between them as well, whereas collage tends to be layering up. Debs is going to be demonstrating a bit of a mixture of both in this tutorial, and you can do both or you can do one or the other. It's entirely up to you. Once you've sketched out all the different parts of your self-portrait, you'll be ready to start compiling together all the pieces of paper that you'll need to create your work. So you're going to want to start looking through your collected materials and thinking about the colours you actually need by looking at your photograph as your reference point. Once you've collected these, you don't have to have cut them out into the shapes to begin working. You can do this as you go, as demonstrated by Debs here. So she's looking at different parts of the photo and focusing on an area at a time. So this is quite a patient job. You need to cut and recut your pieces to make sure that they're exactly the right shape. Smaller scissors might help with this task as well. So at this stage it looks like Debs is demonstrating a mosaic technique. She's cutting pieces and placing them next to each other. But beyond that, she's able to layer up and use the collage technique to create additional details and highlights in the image and make it look more realistic and 3D. Debs demonstrates this here when creating her mouth. So she's got a base colour to show the basic form of her lips, and then she's taken additional pieces of magazine in different tones of pink to show depth and to make the image look more realistic. So by layering up in this way, she's able to create a more realistic self-portrait. And don't forget, you might want to consider the clothing you're wearing in your photo as well, or you could change it from the photo and pick something that you or is associated more heavily with you. So Debs is demonstrating leopard print here. So clothing catalogues are great for getting different fabrics and being able to use a lot of the same image. So Debs is demonstrating using the mosaic technique here, cutting pieces that are quite similar in size and placing them next to each other to fill the space. You can also fill the background of your image. If you have the time and the resources to be able to do so, you can fill the background so that it's not just left as a plain page.